Hello everyone, myself Monica Kashyap. Today I am going to discuss chapter 1 of class plus 1. Chapter name is The Living World. So dear students, first of all we should know what is life. Life can be defined as unique aggregation of molecules. These molecules have tendency to express themselves through various chemical reactions and these reactions are called metabolic reactions. The basic purpose of these reactions is to transform or produce and utilize energy. The term used to define these reactions in cumulative way is metabolism. Through metabolism, various molecules are synthesized, resulting in growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction. The forms that possess and express all these features are called living beings. All living beings share characteristics like organization, energy utilization, regulation, growth, development, reproduction, and adaptation. First, we will discuss about the growth. All living organisms have the capacity to grow. Growth of an individual organism has two characteristics. First is increase in the number and second is increase in the body mass of cells. In plants, growth occurs continuously throughout their lifespan. In animals, growth is only up to certain age. Unicellular organisms also grow by cell division, but non-living objects grow by accumulation of material on the surface. For example, mountains. So, growth cannot be taken as defining property of living organism alone. A dead organism does not grow. Here you are seeing growth of an plant and growth of an embryo. Second property is reproduction. Reproduction means formation of a new individual from their parents. Reproduction is of two types. First is asexual reproduction, second is sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is a type of reproduction that does not involve the fusion of gametes, and sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction that involves fusion of gametes. Here are the some examples of organisms that show asexual reproduction by different modes. First is Hydra and yeast by budding, fungi by spores, planaria by regeneration, Spirogyra by fragmentation, amoeba by binary fission, plasmodium by multiple fission. Let us discuss all in detail. First picture is of Hydra. Hydra reproduces by asexual mode of reproduction. It reproduces by budding. In first point, you are seeing here that a new organism develops from an outgrowth or bud due to cell division at one particular site. In second, the bud remains attached to parent plant. In third, the bud separates after it gets mature. In fourth, the newly developed organism is a clone to its parent cell. Second picture is of yeast. It also reproduces by budding. Third picture is of spore formation in Rhizopus fungus. The most common mode of fungi asexual reproduction is through formation of asexual spores, which are produced by one parent only through mitosis and are genetically identical to that parent. Fourth picture is of regeneration in planaria. In regeneration, organism body show somehow get cut and all the cut body parts can regenerate themselves into full planarias again through specialized cells. And regeneration is type of reproduction which occurs only in some multicellular organisms like a flat planaria, Hydra. It is a type of asexual reproduction. Next is amoeba. Amoeba reproduces by binary fission and multiple fission. In amoeba retracts its pseudopodia and nucleus divides by mitosis. Daughter nuclei separate and cytoplasm constricts. Two daughter amoeba cell will be produced. But in multiple fission, amoeba pulls in its pseudopodia, amoeba secretes a cyst wall. After that, many daughter cells will be produced by multiple fission, and under favorable conditions, the cyst ruptures and releases many daughter amoebas. Last picture is of Plasmodium. Plasmodium reproduces by multiple fission. Third property is metabolism. All chemical reactions that takes place inside our body comes under metabolism. Non-living things do not metabolize. All living things show metabolism. For example, when a person eats a spoonful of sugar, sugar molecules are broken down into simpler molecules with the release of energy. All the metabolic reactions can be broken down into one of two general categories. First is catabolic and second is anabolic reaction. Next is, as you all know, all the living organisms are made up of cells. Cellular organization gave rise to functions like metabolism, responsiveness, adaptation, growth, development, and reproduction. As you know, non-living things do not have a cellular organization. Let's take a closer look at how the organization of your amazing body makes this possible. A human cell typically consists of a flexible membranes that enclose cytoplasm, water-based cellular fluid, together with a variety of tiny functioning units called organelles. In humans, as in all organisms, cells perform all the function of life. A tissue is a group of many similar cells that work together to perform a specific function. An organ is an anatomically distinct structure of the body composed of two or more tissue types. Each organ performs one or more specific physiological functions. An organ system is a group of organs that work together to perform major functions or meet psychological needs of the body. This is all about the cellular organization. Next defining property of living organism is consciousness. It is the awareness of one's environment, action and intentions. Human beings sense the environment through sense organs. We have five senses. Plants respond to external factors like light, temperature, water, pollutants and other organisms, etc. Human is the only organism having self-consciousness, I mean aware of himself. Now next we will discuss about diversity in the living world. Earth provides the physical base for living beings. There are millions of varieties of living organisms in the world around us. There are also many organisms that we cannot see with our naked eye around us. They are found in varied habitats like mountains, oceans, forests, deserts, and even hot water springs. All living organisms which live on earth together make up the natural diversity of life. This natural diversity of life on earth is generally called biological diversity or biodiversity. Number of species identified and studied till now is 1.7 and 1.8 million, out of which 1.25 are animals and about 0.5 millions are plants. To study the biodiversity, there should be some system that can arrange all the living organisms in systematic arrangement. So here I will discuss about systematics. It is Latin word systema, means systematic arrangement of organisms. Linnaeus coined this term in 1751. Systematics is the branch of science that deals with unique properties of species and groups so that we can recognize, describe, name and arrange the diverse organisms according to an organized plan. Students, A.P.D. Candolle in 1813 described about taxonomy. Taxonomy is systematic arrangement of organisms that includes characterization, identification, nomenclature and classification of organisms. So, we will discuss about it in detail. What is characterization, identification, nomenclature and classification? First is identification, means we have to determine the exact place or position of an organism. It is carried out with the help of taxonomic keys. Second is classification. Classification means we have to place organism or group of organisms in a category according to a particular system. Third is characterization. Characterization means we have to understand the characteristics of organisms like external internal structure and the structure of a cell, development process and ecological information of an organism. Next is nomenclature. The naming of living organism is called nomenclature. There are two types of names, common names and scientific names. Locally used names are called local names. Local names are in local languages or common language. Scientific names, these are the names given to organisms by biologists based on agreed principle and criteria. These are acceptable all over the world. To accomplish this, certain international codes have been established. First is ICBN, International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Second is ICZN, International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Third is ICVN, International Code of Viral Nomenclature. Fourth is ICBN, ICNB, International Code for Bacteriological Nomenclature or Nomenclature of Bacteria. Now we will discuss about binomial nomenclature. Carolus Linnaeus used this nomenclature system for the first time and proposed scientific names of all the plants and animals. He is the founder of binomial system. In binomial nomenclature, each scientific name has two components. First, generic name means genus and second, specific name means species. For example, Magnifera indica. Lin, Magnifera is genus name and indica is species name. Lin indicates that this species was first described by Linnaeus. There are some rules of binomial nomenclature. Let us take a closer look to those rules. First rule is a scientific name generally has two components, words in Latin or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. They are derived from Latin. Second is first word of biological name denote the genus, whereas the second denotes the species. Third is names are printed in italics. When handwritten, they are separately underlined to indicate their Latin origin. Fourth is genus name starts with capital letter and species name start with a small letter. The name of author is written in an abbreviated form. After the species name, it is printed in Roman. Example, Magnifera indica. Magnifera is the genus name, indica is the species name. Next is taxonomic categories. Meyer in 1964 defined taxon as taxonomic group of any rank such as species, genus, family or class, etc. Taxonomic hierarchy. The system of arranging organisms in a definite sequence of various taxonomic categories arranged in proper descending order is called taxonomic hierarchy. For example, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Carolus Linnaeus is the father of systematic botany. Now we will discuss all these ranks in detail. First is species. Species means group of individuals that resembles with each other in all major vegetative and reproductive characteristics. It is the basic unit of taxonomy and lowest category in the biological classification. In 1964, Meyer defined species as group of potentially interbreed population that are reproductive isolated from each other. For example, sapiens means Homo sapiens. Second is genus. It is a group of related species. All the species in a genus have many common characteristics and all have evolved from a common ancestor. For example, Homo. Family. Family is a assemblage of related genera. Example, Hominidae. Order. Order is group of related families. Example, Primata. Class. Several related orders having certain common characters from a higher category called the class. Example, Mammalia. Phylum or division. Classes having same features in class constitute a phylum. The term phylum is used in case of classification of animals and the term division is used in plants classification. Example, Chordata. The highest taxon category is kingdom. It includes one or more related divisions or phyla. Plants are put in kingdom Plantae and animals are put in kingdom Animalia. Example, Plantae and Animalia. Let us understand Linnaeus classification with the help of this picture. Here you are seeing that on the left side taxonomic categories are given. On the right side human taxonomy is given. So start from the below kingdom, and kingdom is the highest level of biological classification. Our kingdom is animals, means we are able to move. Second is phylum. Our phylum is chordates. Chordates means animal with a backbone. Next is class. Our class is mammals. Mammals are vertebrate animals and these are characterized by the presence of mammary glands and hair on their skin. Next, our order is primates. Primates means mammals with a collarbone, eyes face forward, grasping hands with fingers and two type of teeth, incisor and molars. Next, our family is hominids. Hominids means primates with upright posture, large brain, flat face, different use of hands and feet. Our genus is Homo. Hominids with S-curved spine, recognizable as humans, come under this Homo genus. Next, smallest level unit is species, that is Homo sapiens, member of genus Homo with high forehead and thin skull bones come under this category. So this is all about the Linnaeus classification. Our next and last topic is taxonomical aids. They are useful in agriculture, forestry, industry. These studies are essential for knowing our biosources and biodiversity. Taxonomic aids helps in identification, nomenclature and classification of organisms. The most important taxonomic aids are herbaria, botanical garden, museum, zoological parks and keys. First of all, we will discuss about herbarium. It is depository of plant specimen in dry condition. The specimens are dried, mounted on paper and properly labeled. So what is the procedure of herbarium? First of all, we have to collect specimen. Then we have to press and dry them so that we can remove their moisture content. Third is sterilization or poisoning so that we can remove fungal attack on the specimen. Fourth is mounting, means we have to paste or stitch specimen on the sheet. Fifth is labeling of the specimens. We have to write their local name, common name and binomial name, family name, place of collection, date and time of collection, and collector name. Last step is storage of herbarium sheets. This is the whole process of herbarium making. You can also make your herbarium file. Next taxonomic aid is botanical gardens. A botanical garden contains plant species from various corners of the world. So, botanical gardens are places or institutions that maintain the living plant specimens of different varieties. Plant species in botanical garden are grown for identification purpose. Each plant is labeled and the label should carry its botanical name and family. Botanical gardens has greenhouses, a library, a herbarium, research laboratory, etc. The largest botanical garden of world is Royal Botanical Garden at Kew in England. It is also called botanical capital of the world. The largest botanical garden of India is Indian Botanical Garden at Kolkata. Here I am showing you some pictures of Royal Botanical Garden, England. Next is museum. Museum is the institution where artistic and educational plants or animals are preserved, stored and exhibited to the public. Museums are maintained in colleges also. Animals, plants and insects are also preserved as dry specimens in museum. All the specimens, whether they are animal, plant or insects, they are fixed in jars, containers in chemical solutions and preserved for longer duration. These specimens are correctly identified and labeled and they are stored and a catalogue is prepared for future reference. Our next taxonomic aid is key. Key is a tool by which each species in group of organism may be identified and taxonomic keys are based on contrasting characters. The characters are in pair and called couplet. Key may be of two types, indented and bracketed key. If key provides sequence of choices between two or more statements of characters of species, it is called indented key. Each statement in key is called a let. If a pair of contrasting characters are not repeated by subdividing characters and each character is given a number in bracket, it is called bracketed key. Let us understand this concept with the help of picture. Here different animals are shown. We have to find out different characters in these animals. If particular character is present, we will say yes. If not present, we will say no. The first character is dry skin. So salamander skin is not dry. So we will say no. On the second hand we will say yes. Second character is hair. In lizard there is no hair. So we will say no. On the second hand we will say yes. Opposable thumbs. In the tiger there is no opposable thumbs. On the second hand we will write yes. Fourth character is bipedal. Gorilla is not bipedal. On the second hand we will write yes. And example is humans. We are bipedal. So all these four characters are present in human. That four characters are dry skin, hairs, opposable thumbs and bipedal. So all this is key. Key helps in identification of a species. In a group of organisms, next taxonomical aid is zoological parks. These are the places where animals are kept in protected environment under human care. The largest zoo in the world is Zoological Park of Kruger in South Africa and the largest zoo in India is the Zoo of Kolkata. Other taxonomic aids are flora, manual, monographs, catalogs. These are also served as taxonomic aids for correct identification. Flora, these contain actual account of habitat and distribution of plant species. Fauna, these contain actual account of habitat and distribution of animal species of given area. Thank you everyone for watching my video. Please like it, subscribe it and share it.